Bulldogs. All right, today we're going to be talking about whether or not it is worth being in a relationship, okay, if you don't care about having sex. If you guys are just joining me for the first time, I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to be a man, how to build financial independence, how to get the physique you want, how to get the girls you want, how to get from the victim mindset to the bulldog mindset. Click the subscribe button. Join us on this journey. Click the quiz up here to take the quiz. See if you are a bulldog or if you're not a bulldog. 10 questions will tell you what your bulldog score is. All right, we're going to jump right into this. He says here, I'll try to keep this short. Essentially, after 4 years of not being in a relationship or having sex for that matter, I met this girl last week and was really starting to like her. This had been the first girl I've met who I actually had a lot of interest in that 4-year period, and figured I'd ask her out and see what happens. Before I was able to get through that, though, she just told me she was already in a relationship. I told her that I had a policy of not having any friends who are girls, a piece of advice I overheard in one of your videos. Got it? How many times I have to tell you guys this? Damn. Just like take the advice. All right. So he says here, and left it at that. It hurt. And I was sad at first, but after I thought about it, I found a lot of gratitude for being able to be in that situation, since I wasn't sure if I still had that in me since it had been so long. Okay, I'm not quite sure what he's talking about there, but I'm not sure what he was sad about. Let's see. So he asked her out. She said that she was already in a relationship. And I guess she said, well, we could be friends. And he said, no, I don't think so. John Sonmas from Bulldog Mindset told me not to be friends with girls, and you are a girl. Therefore, you are not my friend. And that's it. That's the end of this. I'm sad, but I will carry on with my bad self. That's what happened. All right. So I found enough gratitude for that person's existence and the encounter I had with the person to be enough to stop feeling sad and be content with what happened. Okay. So that's good. So this is a good framing mechanism. I was going to say cope, but I hate the word cope. It's not a cope. It's a frame. Okay. Like you have to reframe things. So he said, okay, hey, I'm glad that I appreciate her, this feminine, beautiful girl. I appreciate that I'm in this position. I appreciate that I had the balls to go and ask her out. And she said no. And I appreciate that I'm a strong enough man to be like, I am not going to be a friend of a girl because girls are icky. All right. So that's a good attitude to have. That's what you guys should do. When someone throws bricks at you, make a wall, a building, a house, lemonade out of them, if you will. All right. So he says here, it brings me back to the original question. Is being in a relationship worth it if you don't really care about having sex? Okay, let's for me, sex has always been disappointing and I've always seen it as a waste of time. But then again, I've only had sex a handful of times. I don't have enough experience with a relationship, as I'm sure you can guess, to really come to a conclusion to that by myself. Best sex. So let's talk about some of the things here. So first of all, Zach, I appreciate you, man. Zach seems like a pretty smart guy, pretty introspective. He seems to understand what's going on in his head, except for one thing. Okay, the whole sex thing. Does he care about having sex? So this is interesting because a lot of you guys are going to watch this video and you're going to say, that's me too. I don't care about having sex. I just want a girl to validate me. Wait a minute. Is that what I said? Yeah, that's what you said. That's not what you meant. Okay, so you need to stop this, guys. You need to be more about just wanting to have the sexes, okay? to make the sex, all right? You need to be more about that. Now, I'll tell you why. Not because it's so great and that's the end all be all. It's because by not caring about the sex, saying, I just want to have a relationship, you're coming across as needy and desperate, and it doesn't quite work the same way with men and women. All right. You're coming across as sort of this beta male. All right. Now, what I mean by this is, again, it's not to insult you. It's just that a lot of guys that have this nice guy sort of syndrome, and the reason why they're not getting the results that they want and the relationships that they want is because they're not coming across as sexual. I deal with this all the time with coaching guys. You know, I had this video where I was telling this guy about like looking in the mirror and basically indicating with his eyes as he was saying, that's a pretty dress you're wearing, is to say the words the pretty dress you're wearing, but to really mean, I want to fuck the shit out of you right now. Like, that's a pretty dress you're wearing. You understand what I'm saying? So the reason why is because a lot of you guys are coming across as asexual beings, right? And while you may value the relationship side of things and you think that's great and awesome, a woman is going to be attracted to you based on you being a man and being a sexual man, okay? Being brave enough to express your sexual desire for her. Now, not in a super blunt way. I mean, although sometimes that does work, but she wants you to be that guy. And really, you do have that desire. You're just repressing it. Okay. So, you may think that you're different than other guys, but you're not different than other guys. Okay. You're just like every single nice guy that says, I don't really care about having sex. That's not so important. Okay. Now, there's some exceptions and whatnot, but most nice guys, that's the attitude that they have. Okay. And that's why you do all kinds of crazy shit for this girl, because you're just so in love with her. Okay. You got to stop that. You got to have a different mentality where you're not just infatuated with a girl. Okay. Just because she is this beautiful creature to you. All right. That it's a too romantic of an ideal. Okay. Instead, you want to be a little bit more of the rated R guy. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to stop coming up with this idea of that you don't care about sex. Okay. I want you to actually care about sex more. Okay. I want you to more sexualize women as sex objects. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong, right? At a surface level, they don't want that. All right. But at a bedroom level, at a guy that they're interested in, they absolutely want to be objectified in that manner. They want guys to use them for the guy's pleasure. I had a famous porn star on the channel, okay? Sterling Cooper, all right? And he was saying, all right, he was basically saying like his whole course that I seen, it was really good, all right? And I promoted on there. In fact, if you haven't joined the Bulldog Mindset membership, now's a good chance to do that and to get a discount on his course, because I've got a discount coupon on his course, Bulldog Mindset membership. Click the link down below, $7 for the first month. And in the resources section there, if you are a member, go check it out. You can get his course for a pretty good discount on there. But anyway, in that course, he was talking about, and when I interviewed him, we were talking about this idea of being, I think we called it, or he has this term of being a selfish pervert. That's the frame that you should come into a sexual encounter. Think about this. A selfish pervert. That seems backwards, doesn't it? Like, are girls attracted to selfish pervert vibe? Yes, they are, right? Because they want to feel like you are deriving massive pleasure from their body. Okay. No one else is going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this. All right. Now, again, some guys, you take this out of context and you think that you can just come in with that and be very blunt about it. No, it's all innuendo. Okay. It's all the subtext of the situation is that you're so attracted to her, you desire her sexually so much that she's making you do these things because you can't control yourself. That's the kind of vibe that you want to present yourself in. So don't pretend like you don't care about sex. Okay. You might feel at a conscious level, but subconsciously you are programmed to reproduce, to carry on the population. And so you have to figure out a way. Again, some of what I talk about, Bulldog Mindset membership, I'm going to keep unplugging it because you guys need to be in there around other strong men so you can develop this, and you need to watch the content in there to become more masculine so you can unlock this, because you're repressing all of this sexuality, right? You're a sexual being as a man. You believe me, I know you guys, the same guys, okay? Same one of you guys that are sending me these emails, okay? Again, not trying to knock you here, but just understand the same one of you guys that are sending me these things, you are struggling with porn addiction, okay? You're watching porn all the time. Okay, so don't tell me you don't care about sex, okay? When you're beating your meat, 3 times a day, watching girls with big hooters, doing all kinds of things on your favorite, porn channel, okay? You do care about sex, all right? You're just, what you've done is the Madonna whore complex. You've divided up. You're like, oh, that's a nice girl. I just want to have a nice relationship with her. I don't want to do anything sexual with her. I don't need to worry about that. It's not so important to me. But then you're going home and jerking off, okay? So you have to reintegrate these two sides of you to be a complete human being. All right. And that's just what you got to do. Okay. So it's sort of, some of it comes from shame and guilt around these things and idealizing, but you need to become more of a selfish pervert. All right. That's the only way I can put that. All right. In your interactions with real women, not the ones that you see online. All right. That's what you need to do, is become more of a selfish pervert in that sense of it. And when you do that, okay, then, things will be better for you, and you won't have this problem. Okay. You're getting rejected a lot of times because you have this problem, because you're doing this, because it's forcing you to become a nice guy instead of being a guy that gets what he wants. All right. You want to have the relationship, you want to have those things, figure out this side of it. Again, this is why a lot of times guys, I get a bad rap when I teach guys, pick up and game, and they're like, it's so manipulative and you don't need to like have sex with all these women, all this stuff. And there's some decent arguments. It doesn't matter. You can do what you want to do, but you need to have access. You need to be a guy that is able to get laid. All right. Why? Because when you have that, then you can be discerning. And then if you want to pursue a relationship, something stronger, something more meaningful than casual sex, you can do that. But you can't do that. You can't do that if you don't have the ability, right? Otherwise, you're going to fall into that super nice guy, asexual type of frame, right? It's the balance of the two. It's being that guy that has access to that, but then chooses a specific girl. And that's what women are looking for, right? What does every woman want? She wants a guy that can bang all these chicks, and maybe has banged all these chicks, but then finds something special in her and then chooses to be with her because she's better than all those other options that he has, right? Girls want a guy that other girls want and other guys want to be like. Okay, that's the truth of the matter. All right, so really important that you understand this. Now, he said here about, for me, sex has always been disappointing. I've always seen it as a waste of time, but then I've only had sex a handful of times. Yeah. All right. You're not good at it yet. and it's not everything that you might be cracked up to be, but it's a skill you have to develop over time, right? Again, you tell me, a lot of you guys are like, sex has been disappointing. Yeah, it's fine, but your porn collection is not disappointing to you, apparently. You see what I'm saying? Again, and maybe there's some rare bird, some rare one of you that doesn't have a porn collection, but you also find sex disappointing. That's just a sad scenario. But don't think that it has to be. It can be good. It can be great. Okay. It shouldn't be the overriding drive in your entire life. Although you could argue that everything in this world has been created by the need for sex. Everything that men do is for that purpose, to reproduce. But what I'm saying is, don't just say, okay, well, sex is disappointing to me and I've only had it a handful of times, therefore it can't be that good. All right. So, like I said, and Zach is pretty introspective here. Okay. He's saying, I don't have enough experience with relationships, to come to that conclusion myself. So it's good that you emailed me, because I think there's a lot of guys in the same category. And again, like I said, join the membership, get together, talk about these things, get some help, some guidance. It's going to help you to work through these issues that you guys have, because it's common. It's common. This is very common problem that I deal with all the time with guys that are like, I don't really care about sex. And it's like I said, you've got to work through those issues to be able to become a sexual guy. And it doesn't mean that you have to become just only obsessed about sex, but you have to have that balance. You have these two parts of you that are compartmentalized that you need to reintegrate to become a whole man again. And that's what women are going to want. So yeah, this is not going to be a video that is going to be politically correct. Okay. There's a lot of not politically correct videos in the Bulldog Mindset membership as well, but this is the truth. This is really what the situation is. And, you need to face that reality, because otherwise you're going to be living this lie. Because think about it, the last thing I'll say for you guys that are like, no, that's not true, John. Women don't want to be seen as sex objects, and they don't want you to be a selfish pervert. Okay. And all this is, how's the alternative working out for you? How is being a nice guy who doesn't value sex and doesn't sexualize women, how is that working out for you? How's it working out for you in your relationships with women? Okay. Are you getting relationships? Are women interested in you at all? Okay. Are you having success there? And then how's it working out with you in your private life, where you're holding one set of values, but you're whacking off to porn 3 times a day? So you can't have both of those things. You can't be like, sex is not important to me, but then you're whacking off to porn every day. And yeah, so that's all I'm saying. It's like, if you think that I'm wrong, okay, it's fine, but just realize that you're probably a hypocrite, and it's probably not working out for you. I can just tell you from coaching, hundreds of guys, that I know what women want. I know what they're interested in. All right. And it's not a guy that doesn't care about having sex.